Hello everybody, I want to start off by saying that during the recording of this video I was quite sick and tired, so I might sound a bit weird, but that's the reason why. Anyways, enjoy the video. So here we go out for the training session of this day. We only have one training and then after that we have a qualifying. So I have to get a good feel of how the layout drives, so you can see me warming up the tires and get some temperature into them. And I'm driving behind the jockey, which is in the number 1, which as far as I've seen is quite fast. So one thing I was trying to do here in this session is trying to keep up with him and seeing which lines really work, considering I didn't really know how to approach certain corners, so I just had to get a good feel of the track and see where I can improve. So here you can see me trying to overtake him, but there wasn't any room left on the apex, so I bailed out of it. So I'm trying out a different line at the end, which for me didn't really feel the fastest. So here we go around for the fastest lap that I did this training, which is a 30.4. But as it turns out, it's actually really slow compared to the qualifying lap, which is actually to be expected, mainly because the qualifying lap I had new tires, and the tires I'm running on right now are about like 6 months old, which means they're done for. Even the dimples on the rear tires were just completely flat, there was just nothing in it anymore. But here, as you can see, it looks quite decent so far. Here I'm trying out a more tighter line, which as it turns out is actually faster than taking normal racing lines, because the normal racing line is actually a bit closer, a bit tighter because of the other layouts, and other layouts were driven more than the layout we were driving on right now. But yeah, this training session I was able to get a P7, which in my opinion was quite decent because of the tires. So here we go out for the qualifying on fresh rubber. As you can see, it's really a shiny tire. The other one was quite destroyed. So you can see me trying to scrub off the top layer behind Kevin, who is driving the number 20 card right in front of me. Yeah, just mainly trying to be aggressive on the steering wheel to like really scrub it off. And at this moment, I knew I had to get a sort of like a gap to the person in front of me to be able to get some room to qualify. So you can see me leaving some room to Kevin in order to try to set a good lap. And at this specific moment it wasn't really possible because of the tires. As you can see, the moment I go into the corner I have understeer and I have oversteer, which isn't ideal, as you probably would know. So you can see me trying to scrub some more off of the layer, and this is going to be my first decent lap, which I hear yeah, I slide. That's what I mean by decent. It isn't good, it's decent. Going into the first corner here, which actually looks quite well, and then they just slide on the exit, which is actually not that good. Going into the hairpin corner seems to be quite good as well, and another hairpin corner. No oversteer this time, so fortunately that's good. Going into the last 2 corners, now all I have to do is not to slide, and yeah, I just go too wide and slide off, which actually sort of ruined my lap. Here you can see me passing Robin, which actually points me through. And here, this is my fastest lap of the qualifying, which is a I have to say it correctly, a 29.7. Which actually turned out to be P2, which I wasn't expecting at all. The position I was expecting this qualifying was actually a P5, considering we had some engine issues before this. Like the head gasket was leaking, we had some engine oil that was being burnt actually, but my dad managed to fix that. And basically the moment I went over this over the line here, I was like, okay, I probably drove P5, and so you can see me here driving into the pits, so very calm, just I didn't really expect anything. So here you can see Tim I believe his name is, putting dots on the tires, just to make sure that you're using the same tire throughout the 2 races, so that you don't switch it up, which I don't really expect, but can happen, of course. People can switch stuff up. So I have to weigh the cart, and the cart has to be above 170, which I was about 2 kilos above, which is a 120 or like 127, 172.5. And here my dad told me I was P2, so I was really surprised with that, and also very happy. Yeah, not expected at all. So here we go for the first race of the day, behind Mark Donnes. Yeah, basically the first thing I'll do is just warm up the tire here, to make sure the tires are hot before the race even starts, considering if I don't warm my tires, I'll probably have no grip at all starting out. Yeah, which isn't ideal. But yeah, P2 behind Mark Donnes, and behind me was Robin, and from that point on I didn't really remember anymore. So here you can see me warming up the tires on the grid. Yeah, I'm getting into my grid spot. And now we just have to wait until everybody's lined up, and then we can start. So here you can see me just looking around, seeing where the people are, seeing if Tim is actually moving back. That basically means that the race is about to start. Yeah, I'm looking again. If you're wondering what that thing is on my steering wheel, that's actually to start recording. Okay, here we go. Lights are out, and the start is absolutely terrible. I already lose 2 places on the start, so not ideal. And to be honest, I was actually quite nervous as well at this specific moment, which wasn't ideal at all. Like here you can see me just sliding away from the ideal line, and yeah, just a terrible start. Like the gap they're pulling already is just huge for like 1 lap especially, and you can see me just sliding off even more, just taking too much speed into that corner. Like that isn't going to work at all. And here I was just hoping that they were going to battle in order at least to get closer, but I also knew that I had to get my head together for this, considering the mind that was going through my head at the moment was trying to put down fast laps, which isn't really ideal, to be honest. That wasn't the ideal mindset at all. So I just used a different mindset. So instead of focusing on driving really fast, I focused on being really consistent, which actually helped me out a lot during this race. And here I managed to get close to Bram, which apparently had like issues with the clutch, which was also bothering him quite a bit, considering I saw that he eventually at certain points was shaking his head. So yeah, I think I saw his head being shaken there. But yeah, so you can see me behind number 19, trying to get close to him in order to overtake. He already pulls a bit of a gap because of some mistakes, so I try to get back a bit just by braking really late. And here we go into the last 2 corners. Now I have to know that I have to stay really close to Bram in order to be able to overtake him in the next couple of corners. Here you can see that the slipstream is really helping me out to get close. Now I just have to make sure that I get a good exit here, which I do. And Bram actually steers in a bit too early here, which actually makes it so I get a good exit, or like I get a better exit than him, and I'm able to put the car next to him and overtake him. Quite happy with that, considering this put me at P3. Not really the place where I wanted to be, so I wanted to stay P2, but fortunately that wasn't really possible. I mean, look at this gap even. I really tried to close the gap as much in as possible. As you can see, I only have 1 lap left here. But yeah, with even this gap, I wasn't really possible to I wasn't able to overtake anyone anymore from this point on. Which is quite unfortunate, but it can happen. I learned from it, and I can only improve from it, so that's a good thing. Here you can see Mark and Robin battling, going to the last corner. Robin keeping his place, Mark having to settle in for P2, and I have to settle in for P3. Did put my thumb up because it still is a podium position, so I shouldn't be too harsh on myself. And here the yellow flags are out, so we have to drive slowly and back to the pits. But yeah, quite a decent result. So we have to weigh again to make sure we are above 170. And a good thing is that we were, and you don't even lose that much. What do you call it? Gas in this race to be underneath it, and we were quite safe with the weight as well. So me just putting it into the slot. So here we go for the last race of the day. So I'm on P3 this race, considering I finished P3 the race before that. So it's Robin P1, Mark P3, no, not P3, P2 I meant to say, me on P3, and I believe Kevin on P4 and Bram on P5 if I'm correct, if I'm not mistaken. So the obvious thing that I immediately do is warm up the tires here. So we have one lap that we have to, we're actually about to, so it's an out lap, then one lap, and then we have to line up on the grid. So you can see Mark actually driving quite slowly, probably to heat up his brakes as well. And here we actually see something going wrong, because as it appears to be, the people didn't get sent out, or someone's engine got yeah, what should we call it? Someone engine yeah, basically got off, or like turned off. That's what I'm trying to say. Someone's engine probably turned off, I guess, and had to be pulled back on again. But it's not clear for me what exactly happened there, and didn't really get told either. It was just weird. So here we line up on the grid on P3, and here we see Robin in P1, waiting for Tim to pass again to see if we have to we have to start. And here we go, revving up the engine, and it isn't actually noticeable here, but I actually got a bad start again. But fortunately Bram was behind me, and he actually pushed me. So you can see me try to go around the outside of Robin, which we didn't manage to be able to do. And then we have Bram on the left of us, but he wasn't far enough to be able to overtake us, and I was able to outbrake him, so I keep my position here, fortunately. You can see Robin looking behind him, which actually I wasn't even close enough to even try a move there. And here we go into corner 1 and 2, which I actually take quite bad and lose some time here because of the scrubbing. But fortunately I'm still within a couple of tenths, meaning that I have the slipstream in order to recover from it. Here we brake very late, get really close to his bumper, which at that specific moment I nearly felt like I was going to hit his bumper, so I actually hit the brake a bit harder, but it actually made me slow down a bit too much, so I had to hit the gas a bit earlier in order to try and recover, which unfortunately I did get a bad exit from it. Here I get a bad exit again, but it appears to be the car just jumping, but I'm not sure, and it didn't even feel like jumping. It just looks like jumping. But yeah, here they weren't battling for quite some time, so they managed to get quite a gap away from me. Well, they managed to pull up quite a big gap, and here they started battling. We can see that they're both riding a defensive line here, which I was actually surprised to see. You can see Robin pulling out to the outside, which he wasn't able to pull off. I didn't really expect it to be able to overtake around the outside there. Quite surprised as they tried that, to be honest. Here you can see him trying to go around the inside, but it appears that Mark actually brakes a bit later than him. Here you can see Robin trying it around again, around the outside again. You can see me braking really late here, in order to get close to him or even try to overtake. But I wasn't close enough to overtake. Here we can see Robin trying it around the outside again, trying to do a undercut or a switch runes. What I'm trying to say. Yeah, and here he didn't expect me to overtake, but there was enough room for me to overtake, so I just went for it. And fortunately, I was able to overtake Robin here. And now I have to try and overtake Mark, which is actually defending quite well here, to be honest. And I didn't really get any overspeed, which I'm quite surprised, because here I'm in the DRS. Well, not DRS, I'm in the slipstream. Excuse me. I'm in the slipstream, and I'm not really able to pull next to him, like the way Robin did. So not sure what's going on. Could be either a bad exit or still not having the power in the engine. Here you can see me trying to let Mark know that we shouldn't fight, but just try to move forward, considering Robin is still really close behind me and don't really want to lose my position to him. But you can see Mark looking behind him quite a bit, so he's probably going to defend if I have the opportunity to overtake, which here he doesn't. But I did brake really late though, and I gave him a little tap, which made it so he took a bit of a defensive line here, in order so I couldn't overtake. Trying not to make it slide, and having a look around the inside again, but there wasn't any room there in order to overtake. Just trying to get into his head here is what I was trying to do. Yeah, I'm trying to take a good line, but unfortunately I was sliding a bit, so that sort of ruined my exit. We brake really late again in order to get close. And yeah, I tuck into his slipstream to try and gain some time on him. Here I took into slipstream again and tried to do it around the inside. No, not here. Okay. So I pulled out quite a bit before in order to get into his head. So, and here you can see Robin trying it around the inside, actually managing to do it, nearly putting me onto the grass. Didn't really expect him to overtake there, but I think I actually made a mistake there, and then he got an advantage from it and overtook me, which is quite unfortunate. Here you can see me slide and losing some time to that, which is actually quite bad, considering I lost a lot of time to that. As you can see, they pulled out quite a big gap already. But Robin goes into battling immediately, and I'm quite glad that he did that, considering I was able to keep up because of that. And here we can see, I think Robin will try it around the outside again. Yeah, there he tries it around the outside again, which actually makes it so they both can't drive a optimal line here. So I'm able to gain time again. And here I was able to tuck into a slipstream again, so now I was able to keep up. And here I was trying to just drive the normal racing line in order to gain time on them. And now I got the overspeed, so I can have a little go, but not quite, giving Robin a little tap in order to pass Mark. Mark hitting Robin, and he's off, unfortunately. Yeah. So if you're wondering what exactly happened there, if you didn't notice, because it was going quite fast, I was trying to basically give Robin a little push in order to get a go at Mark. But it seemed like Robin didn't know that Mark was still quite close behind him, and the moment he wanted to steer into the chicane, he hit Mark, and Mark hit him as well, and then his rear stepped out, and then he tried to correct it, but he flew off after that, which is really unfortunate, but it can happen. It's racing, it's a part of the sport. So unfortunately my video camera actually stopped recording at this specific moment. It happened, so I lost the last bit of the footage. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe. And if you're wondering if the video quality will be getting better over time, it will be, considering I've made an upgrade to a Osmo Action 3, which I'll put a picture above right here. Which will make the recording a lot better and will improve the footage over the upcoming videos. Anyways, till the next one.